This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. As I've been cleaning things out and unfortunately having to sell a lot of this stuff, I have been finding things. And I found a game that I dug out that I ain't getting rid of, and that's Wizard's Quest, an old Avalon Hill game. Now, I don't know if you know much about this, but we're going to go down and I'm just going to give you a brief overview. You could probably find this for anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks and really have a really good time with a bunch of friends. You could play, I think you could play up to 4 players. Let me make sure. Of course, you know, they never tell you anything on here. The rules are not that deep. There are a ton of orcs that are going to give you nothing but headaches. This is a 2 to 6 player game, and it takes about an hour to 3 hours to play, depending on how many people you play with. Let's go down and take a look at the board and take a look at some of the simple things. I'll explain the object of the game, and we'll go from there, and I'll be back and we'll talk more about this on the other side. So I'm just going to show you this real quick. I've got bags for the 2-player version that I always played, but I just think it's easier if I just kind of show you the stuff that hasn't been punched out. These flags are going to represent individual men. And then each one of these, you're going to have a soldier, you're going to have your wizard, and then you're going to be looking for these 3 treasures, and they're going to be spread out throughout, and you're going to have to fight your way through tons of orcs, because there are different phases. There's also a very filthy dragon. Whoops, nope, that's not it. Oh, there he is. A filthy dragon that is going to be roaming the lands, giving you a tough time. So you're going to have a orc generation phase. You're going to be rolling a die, and depending on where you roll, you're going to roll the 2 dice. You're going to be placing orcs all over the place, and they might be getting in your way. You're going to have an orc frenzy phase, which is just filthy, where they're going to go crazy. Orc placement. Then you're going to have your dragon attack phase. That's where he is going to go different places and find you and pop you in the head. Wizard prosper phase. You're also going to have these cards that are going to help or hurt you throughout the entire campaign. The first player determination phase, individual player phase, that's where you're going to be moving and doing certain things and moving your things. Petition card selection and play, so you're going to pick a card and you're going to play it. You're going to get reinforcements, and then you're going to do your attacks. There, as you can see, there are all kinds of different areas, and the first player to get all 3 of these treasures back, and as you can see, there's a blank one because you could play with a false treasure somewhere. So say you've got these all over the place and you're trying to work your way and trying to find all 3 of the treasures. The wizard who reclaims all 3 of his treasures is going to win the game. And like I said, there's not a lot to the rules here. It's very, very simple. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of writing on these 3 pages, but I mean, for an Avalon Hill game from and this is the 3rd edition in 1980. That's not too bad. Your play summary, like we talked about, each player rolls 2 dice. High man goes first. Turns pass to the left. Each player chooses an empty castle. Okay, as you can see, there are castles all through there. So you're going to pick which castle and places 1 man on it. 2 orcs are placed on each of the remaining castle spaces that you do not claim, okay, because there's a bunch of other ones. Players in turn place 1 man on any available empty space until there are no empty spaces remaining. Each player passes their 3 treasures to the player on the left. The player in 3 turns places the treasures face down on the board. So what happens is that the opposite player is going to say your castle's here. Well, he's obviously going to put the treasures somewhere over here, so it makes it even harder for you to find them. The orc turn, the turn of the orcs, each player tosses one die to select a region whose orc territories and bordering orc castles each receive one additional orc, unless the space already contains the maximum 4 orcs per space. Orc frenzy, attack from all orc spaces with 4 orcs. So if you have 4 orcs in one, they are going to be moving and attacking. The orc turn ends by placing 1 orc on each unoccupied space on the board. Turn of the dragon. Now this is where the dragon comes in. The dragon moves until he gobbles up at least 1 man. So if you've got guys all over the place, he's going to be moving, eating your dudes. Okay. Heroes or sorcerers up to at least 1 man. Hero or sorcerer, each move is made by 1 die toss for selected regions, and 1 die toss for selection of territory. So as you can see, everything, as you can see, is die 6, and there are 6 different regions throughout here. So that's where that's all going to be moving around. Turn of the Peacemaker Wizard. That's this dude here. Peacemaker Wizard moves once. The move is made by 1 die tossed for selection of a region, and 1 die toss for selection of the territory in that region. Okay, Peacemakers prosper the space by giving it 3 more men or up to 3 more orcs. Turn of the player. 1 player tosses the dice. The player with the corresponding number marker goes first and turn pass to the left. In his turn, the player may draw 1 petition card, as we talked about, and then receives 1 man for each of his kingdom spaces, or the minimum of 4 men. Okay. Hero and sorcerer costs 2 men each to acquire. After placing the pieces on the board, the player may make a number of attacks from one of his spaces to one particular adjacent space in hopes of making 1 capture. After each player has taken his turn, the turn of the player is over, and the cycle begins with the turn of the orcs. Treasure rewards, magic ring. If you find the magic ring, you're going to draw a petition card. If you found the crown, you're going to get 3 men to place anywhere. Treasure chest gets 4 men to place in territory where chest was located. And if you get all 3, once you get all 3, you have won the game. So there you go. Just a quick little view of Wizard's Quest, a pretty neat game for back in 1980. So let's go up top and get my final thoughts. Well, there you have it, everybody. Wizard's Quest, a game that you can find online really, really cheap if you're looking to be cost effective. But you can have a blast with this, and there's no doubt about it. It is a fantastic, fun, old school, old fun game from Avalon Hill. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.